Alright guys, hello and welcome to the VGC Battle League Standard Season 5. This is a alignment chart thing. So everyone was doing tier lists instead of power rankings, and I thought it would be very interesting. I saw that there was a button to do alignment charts. I thought instead of doing like a quantitative analysis of the teams, I thought it would be more interesting to do a qualitative analysis. So look at the different options of tempo and long game as two different ways that, like, are you trying to win in the short game by outmuscling your opponent, or do you have a more long game with defensive backbones, etc. And if your drafting style was more going with the top heavy picks or more going with the value picks where you have a lot of decent mods instead of like some of the teams where they have 1, 2, or 3 mods that are 1 pointers that are probably not going to come to more than one game. And here with me is my co-host, the one and only Sheath Geldon. Say hello.
Hello, Electric. You're quite
Mancini
good
the Amazing.
at
We're on the
turning
channel.
Me on.
We need the business name. It's Mancini
Fine.
the Amazing.
You can edit it in post. It'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely.
You
That's
are
the
very,
thing that I'm well known
very,
for.
yeah.
Look,
So,
I've done proper editing before, and that was how I learned that it's not worth it unless you're actually going to go full
Dude,
out.
yeah, having to edit the Mario Party WPF
How?
Let's
You mean
Play
the one
was
that
the
no
worst thing
one
in the
watched?
world. Hey, you should watch it. I put
I
a
got,
lot
like-
of effort into that,
I got,
mostly
like,
because
2 minutes into it, I'm like, wow, I'm bored.
I thought it was fun.
And I watched
but,
like 6-hour uncut streams. I
well, you
just don't think Mario Party is very interesting.
I love Mario Party, man. I think you're in a minority.
Mario
there,
Party
but
is fine to
we
play. I
had
think
the-
it's interesting to watch. It's not
we
a,
had
it's
the
not a, it's not an
problem-
audience game. It's not a spectator sport.
We had the problem of audio, so I had to keep mashing up the audio, and it took like a million years to edit. Dear God.
Maybe you could suggest to good old Mr. James Dalton Bell, one of the co-hosts, who had a thing where there were 5 of them called the Alts who were doing their like power rankings thing, and only James could be heard the entire time. All of the other 4 people barely audible. It was very unfortunate. I still watched through parts of it where I was interested in their perspectives on their own teams as well as their perspective on my team, but I wasn't able to get through the whole thing, unfortunately. But yeah, so this is a BDSP format draft, so that means that there is, there's a significantly limited pool of mods, and with that comes a relative like inflationary impact on the prices of Pokemon. So I do think that made for a particularly interesting way to analyze whether teams were more top-heavy or more value-focused. So that's why we've got this alignment chart, and then the images for all the different teams. My team's here. I'm not going to be ranking my team because you guys should check in the description below and watch my draft breakdown if you care about my team, which you should, because it's going to go. It's going to have an incredible like 0-7 season. It's just going to be
No,
amazing.
you mean swapped around? It's gonna win every single game ever. But we'll get to your
Yeah.
godly drafted god of a team later.
We're not
Because
going
it's
to
absolutely
because
perfect.
we're not going to because we already did.
Oh, okay. Well,
We
watch
got
his
to,
other.
here's what I
content.
did earlier, so I'm not going to place it on the chart. But everything else we'll align and rate qualitatively.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we
well,
have.
he's gonna give it like a good like a qualitative. I'm gonna give a D&D alignment. It'll be great.
You promised that you wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, promises are made to be broken.
That's literally not what promises are made for. That's actually the opposite of why. Oh great, I've ads.
So.
So
Talking
we'll look
about
at the
broken
first
promises.
team, which is the New York Aquajets, coached by Bardo, the first position team. And I knew what Bardo was picking like 3 days before the draft started because I was picking second, and I just asked him.
Can I be
and,
honest?
Yeah, he picked Clefable.
I feel like Clefable being the first pick makes a lot of sense.
Well, it was 7 points cheaper than Togekiss, and it's only marginally worse than Togekiss, so I certainly do understand it.
Yeah.
And he's got Blaziken, which is something that I viewed as one of the best value for money picks. It's absolutely incredible in this format, especially if you have redirection, because when it gets scaling off, after a Sword Stance boost, it's KOing so many Pokemon. So I certainly was a big fan of that pickup in the round 2, and then they followed it up with the Wheel of Luxray, which is a super value Intimidate. I would say that certainly this is a team which has a number of mons which are value, and then also has a number of mons which are like kind of more in the top heavy aspect, but certainly Blaziken and Clefable and Slowbro are pretty top heavy. Hariyama, I believe, was also quite expensive. And then I think some of these other mons are just kind of tech pieces.
I mean,
the team has Follow Me, which allows it to deal with setup. I think if we scroll over on the page, setup is listed. So obviously, Clefable can't Carmine next to itself, so I mean, that's not really an option.
I'm sure it can.
But Sword Stance Blaziken is very solid. Being able to set up screens.
Belly drum and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, so being able to set up screens with Luxray, or it just gets light screen, but like that is an option outside of like the more offensive setup options. Just being able to reduce the damage output of an opposing like Nidoqueen, for example.
So there is a decent amount of setup here.
Yeah, there's very solid options for setup. I think I saw that Belly Drum Hariyama can Oko. I try to remember what Pokemon it was. Someone had like a Belly Drum Hariyama set that used Feint to Oko some support mon. And like it's a pretty bulky support mon, but I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. But basically, it can out-prioritize Follow Me, so I assume it must have been Togekiss.
I'd like to bring up that this is a triple dark team, by the way.
Right, well, that's kind of what I wanted to get to. But yeah, so...
okay.
So, yeah, Trick Room with Slowbro is something they can definitely set up next to Clefable. Yeah. Even if they fake out Clefable, they can't just taunt Slowbro, set it for setting up Trick Room because of its access to Oblivious. As well as it can run offensive variants with potentially Belly Drum, but more likely a Nasty Plot or a Carmine variant, which is pretty solid. Like I said, Belly Drum Hariyama has explosive in like ridiculous power. Shiftry's lost a lot of its special movesets and some of its physical movesets.
So it doesn't have Heat Wave anymore?
No Heat Wave. I think it also lost Snarl. No, it does still have Snarl. Okay, yeah, it does still have Snarl. But yeah, no Heat Wave, no Weather Ball. So it's realistically just...
Doesn't nothing have Weather Ball anymore? It's like Roserade and that's about it.
Yeah, a good few Pokemon do have access to Weather Ball, but it's certainly not as many as in Gen 8, but it's more than in Gen 4. Then you have Altaria here. Altaria is, I think, the first mon that's very much just like a tech piece on this team. I don't know why it's not listed as having Dragon Dance, because it does. But the main thing that I think Altaria does well, besides, I guess, it is a Tailwind option, is that it has Cloud9 to disrupt opposing weather teams. But there are only so many opposing weather teams because Sandslash is the only Sand Rush Pokemon, and it went undrafted. There's not a team that's really a Sand team, per se. And then there are no Slush Rush Pokemon, so there are not teams which are really Hail teams, per se.
Yeah, so there's like...
So it's like...
There'd be 2 Fire teams, 2 Rain teams?
2 Rain teams. I'm pretty sure there's no Ninetales team. I'm pretty sure there's actually just 1 Sun team and 2 Rain teams, which...
Yeah, but...
I don't even know if he's going to be playing...
I mean, it's not like Altara is completely useless. Like, it's Tailwind, which is nice.
Yeah,
this is a
the
team
main
that
issue
can
that it has
Tailwind.
is it is incredibly frail, and it's not very strong.
It's got good Spadef, but yeah. You know. I mean, it does have Dragon Dance. Anyone who's played Gen 3 will remember how scary it is with Dragon Dance in Winona's gym. Yeah? But, do you mind if I talk about the week? Like, do you want to do this? We probably should have played this before. Do you want me to shit on everyone's team so you can be the goodie and I'll be the baddie that no one ever talks about?
I mean, I'm being pretty critical of his team right now, so it's
I want to bully this too, because I've got something that I want to talk about this team with.
But yeah, basically, I feel like Absol, Shiftry, and Skuntank all not only kind of suck, but also do the same things. In the sense of they are dark types that are not very strong, and Skuntank is the only one of them which really will be taking hits, but even then, not incredibly well. They provide somewhat fast, but not really fast, Snarl support. Skuntank has the Taunt option, Shiftry is the Fake Out option, so they provide support. But they don't really add anything super well to this team's defensive thing, because they don't really tank a lot of hits from the Psychics in this format. Psychics are, in my perspective, Psychics and Waters are the Pokemon that there are the most good options for. So like,
I mean, they take their stab moves well.
they take the stab move
You know what?
from single type ones.
Skuntank's okay at them because it's also neutral to Focus Blast and Shadow Ball, so it's definitely the best one of that here. And
I'm just mostly thinking that like it's going to get 2 cured by Jinxes. Ice Beam, Shiftry, and Absol are both going to risk getting O-code by it. Like, there's a lot of moves where it's just like, okay, you've got very sketchy, a very sketchy matchup into secondary stabs of any real psychic type on the team, because then they have a steal of Fortress, who is, it does have good stabs. It does have good typing.
Yeah,
but it doesn't have Curse in this format, so it can't set up, which means that realistically all it's doing is setting up screens for your team, because it's just so incredibly weak, super passive, which is just, yeah, it's not very good. And then Geodude is there as like a thing, so I feel like this team very much sits in the sort of teams where they have very low tempo. They have very... Yeah, but this team definitely has tempo.
Slow. Like, I can't believe we've got this song without saying it. First Pokemon Skuntank. I get it, there's not that much speed in this format anymore.
Yeah.
I understand that,
slow,
but 84, so it's like...
So many of the Pokemon are also weak,
can use
which is the other thing that I think is even worse. Like,
well,
in terms of Pokemon which are immediately strong,
Clefable
is one of the most immediately strong Pokemon, but it's also the dedicated support option. And then Blaziken is immediately strong. Luxray and Hariyama are both strong if they have Guts, and only one of them can run a Flame Orb, so unless you're running a Toxic Orb on one of them, you're probably going to be running like the Intimidate support, or maybe a Thick Fat Set on Hariyama if Luxray has a particularly good offensive matchup that game.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, so Hariyama now is going to be... Oh, it's raining. I'm going to close my door. Sorry. Hariyama then is going to be, you know, obviously you don't want to run Sheer Force because it will invalidate your Fake Out. So only one of those 2 Pokemon is really going to be able to put out real offensive pressure in a game. Slowbro, if it's like a Trick Room support, is going to be losing its options for coverage, and generally Slowbro is very reliant on coverage and also having either Protect or Slack Off for sustainability to really get impact out of a game, unless like your only Psychic Resist is a Steel that's 4x weak to Flamethrower, because then it will only need 2 moves. So it's like... it's super sketchy.
Yeah, this team's just not very strong, and also it's not fast, and it's not even slow, so you can't even call this like a Trick Room team. Like,
the Trick Room Abuser is Slowbro.
Yeah,
like,
Slowbro, which is also its setup. So it's like, okay, well, what do we do here? Like, it's a team that is not fast and not slow, and can't play off either of them incredibly well, except bringing Altaria every week with Tailwind. I don't love it. It's got a couple of Sucker Punch priority stuffs, but that's not nearly enough.
Let's look at
to make up for that.
Geodude has 80 attack, so I guess that's like okay. Like, if you just want to spam Rock Slide in Trick Room, it's better than a lot of the other options on this team, because, like, yeah, this team is just slow, and it's not really that bulky, and it's not really that strong.
Well, it's not even that slow, because it can't take advantage of Trick Room.
So then, but if we're describing it more, it's very much top-heavy, but I also would criticize a lot of the options that they chose for the top-heavy things, and then whether it plays towards tempo or long game, I think it's definitely super reliant on setup, and then whether the setup is only just like Guts or Flame Orb.
Yeah,
I would suggest that's
going to help a lot with that, but it's just I don't love it. It's relying too much on Speed Boost Blaziken and Follow Me Clefable to carry this team, so that's my problem.
Like, what do you do if this team is getting Earthquake? This team's only Earthquake checks are Shiftry, which isn't really an Earthquake check. It'll threaten Pokemon spamming Earthquake, and then Altaria. Shiftry and Altaria very much are frail support mods. If this team is getting Edgequaked,
I don't think
like,
Altaria is as frail as you say. Like, it's not bulky.
I mean, like, yes and no. Altaria is just, this is a format where Dragon's very good, so if your Clefable's not out, Altaria's not going to be taking that Dragon move.
Like 75, 90, 105 isn't fantastic, but if you invest in it, it's kind of...
Yeah,
you know,
but then it's not strong at all, because you're not investing in its attack, which is, you know, not very good.
70, yeah.
So, it just feels like this team really only has 5 Mons, and then Luxray and Hariyama are both competing for the Gut slot, because this team doesn't really have, and you know, it's not reliant on Intimidate, because it doesn't really get an incredible amount out of Intimidate. What, are you switching in Luxray in the slot next to Clefable while it follow me's, so you can't be setting up in the slot next to Clefable if you're also switching in Luxray for Intimidate. So it's like,
yeah,
you know, there's a lot of I think really anti-synergy. Like, unless the plan is either Clefable or Luxray supporting Blaziken sort of thing, then you really just kind of want the offense option out of Luxray, but then that means that you're losing the offense option out of Hariyama. Now, don't get me wrong, Hariyama is still pretty strong without the Guts boost, but the explosive power on this team really does come not only from Hariyama, but also for the fact that Blaziken and Hariyama are both fighting type attackers. And the only other like strong stab move that they have to spam besides that would be Draco from Altaria, which has its own issues, and then Moonblast from Clefable. So it's like very comprehensively this team doesn't really deal with each other's flaws super well. It's only really got immediately strong Pokemon that are physical, and then it doesn't really have any way to like the only speed control on this team is the Trick Room on the Slowbro and then the Blaziken. So it sounds like I don't think it even has like an Icy Wind user. No Icy Wind user. It's got Tailwind as an option on Altaria, but unless you're putting that Altaria next to Clefable, that Altaria can get double targeted down just so that your opponent is assuring they're keeping speed control. And you could Bulldoze, but the only Pokemon that you can Bulldoze next to that isn't going to take a speed drop is going to be Altaria. So what does that really achieve?
Yeah. Anyway, we should probably move on.
Yeah. So yeah, this is how I would describe this team. It's very top heavy, and then it's somewhat towards the long game, though I do question its ability to function well in the long game. Alright, so now we go to the next team, which is the Virginia Vikings and Jordan. So this is pick 2, but as you would have seen if you had watched my draft breakdown, we did swap round 1 and round 2 picks. So he had 2 later round 1 picks, and I had my first 2 earlier round 1 picks. So he...
Infernape Sableye is pretty cool.
Yeah, Infernape, Sableye, Mr. Mime, I think is actually phenomenal. All 3 of them have access to Fake Out, which enables the other one to be very flexible. Like, having Infernape as your only Fake Out bot means that it's basically going to be unusable as like the offensive setup variant, which is really solid. And I think that one of the scariest mods on this team is that offensive Infernape. But the fact that it's also able to run support, the fact that Mr. Mime is able to pop on a Scarf and run Icy Wind, the fact that Sableye is able to be Fake Out and then also run like Quash support, really just gives this team a lot of positioning control that other teams don't have.
Oh, I didn't realise Water Absorb Suicune is not available in this format. Sorry if I'm jumping ahead.
Water Absorb, you mean Pressure?
Sorry, Pressure, yeah. Pressure, sorry. Wow.
You're not jumping ahead. I'm really just like... talking about other stuff. So
this team,
this team I think is super value heavy.
I like it.
I genuinely, I think that the only Pokemon on this team, which is probably not going to do a whole lot, I think Farfetch'd and Seeking are probably not going to be able to do a whole lot. But Farfetch'd was 2 points.
Tailwind?
No, it doesn't. But Farfetch'd was 2 points, and with its ridiculously high crit rates, you really can get some value out of it in a game where it has a decent matchup. Suicune is the best Tailwind setter that...
But yeah, because it's got enough focus.
Besides Crobat, sorry. Crobat is the best Tailwind setter, and then Suicune. Straight up.
Yeah. It's really good. It's got enough focus, and also it can do other things besides that. It can be like a Calm Mind, Snarl...
Calm Mind option is nice, the Snarl option is very nice.
Yeah.
If you put up, if you're spamming Wisps with either Sableye or Infernape next to it, and you're getting a Calm Mind with it, it's going to be very difficult to break through. Like, Suicune is a really solid mon on this team. I know that there were a lot of different waters that he was considering, and I definitely do think Suicune really pulled the team together. Seeking's Lightning Rod is okay. He doesn't really need it because he has electric weaknesses as Suicune and Farfetch'd.
But, it's something to consider.
But it is a Seeking. He does have the Seeking. He can Rain Dance with Sableye and get the Swiss Whip boost.
Look out.
And Exploud does specifically have synergy with Mr. Mime with that Scarf Icy Wind set and Mr. Mime Soundproof, which is pretty solid. So he does have tech pieces. I don't think Arbok is real Fairy Resist, so he is kind of struggling not having a Steel, and then Infernape being a Fire type that doesn't resist Fairy.
This is only Resist, isn't it?
Yeah, but Arbok is unfortunately a pretty frail Pokemon, so it's not necessarily the most long-term Fairy Resist.
But there is so few good fairies in this format.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple, and he has one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Mime is one of the good fairies. That's how you know this format's low on good fairies.
Yeah, it's Clefable, Togekiss, Mr. Mime,
Gardevoir.
God, yeah.
Mawile, Granbull.
Yeah, and
I believe that's every
Mawile
fully
is a
evolved fairy.
big stretch. So it's like, okay, well...
I mean, I think War's pretty good because of Intimidate, but yeah.
yeah,
I would say
like
the main flaw I have with this team is the Suicune is kind of taunt fodder on this team. I don't think that this team invites opposing teams that are super weak to water. Like, this team is already scaring away... this team has Infernape, which the main thing that checks Infernape is waters. And then it's got Suicune, which is also really only checked by waters, and then you want to be... I feel like it just kind of is kind of taunt bait. I guess that would be the concern I have. But this team does have that initial power in Infernape. It does have that initial power in Miss Mages. It absolutely has that initial power in Rampardos, and it can definitely pull that initial power off with X-Cloud, all of which are pretty solid. So I think this team's definitely got a solid amount of tempo, but it's also got the long game, which I really like, and it's got a good bit of value. Like the mons that it has, which are not like going to be coming game in, game out, definitely all do have specific synergies with this team. So this is a team that I certainly would put pretty in the middle, and then I'd probably lean it somewhat towards top heavy, because I think that, you know, Farfetch'd is not a real mon, but if it does get to do something for 2 points, that's good. And then I definitely say it's oriented more towards tempo, which is crazy because it does have such that good long game. It's a very solid team, very solid team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here we have one of the greatest stocks, Mono Mallard. I don't remember what 2W stands for, but I remember that it's...
200 wins.
No. You're thinking of 12 wins Hearthstone, and he is not even got anymore. Let's see which of these... Oh, is 2W Puechas Whimscott?
I don't know.
I think it is, because none of these things have a 2 in it, and none of these other things have W's. Oh, or it could be the... War Madam? But I think War Madam is SMS. Is Scott. Sorry, Steve Monty Scott. Yeah. WW, I think, is Steve Monty Scott, so I think this team is the Wedge Swim Scott. I definitely think me like 7 years to pick that up. So yeah,
oh my god, it's got Clefable.
Mercury around one. Yeah, so specifically, this team was drafted around Clefable.
Really?
Yes.
Are you shitting me?
No, he specifically says in his draft breakdown that this team has flaws as a result of being drafted around Clefable.
What a god, what a god.
He has Agron, which is a Pokemon that I was strongly considering at one point, and is pretty good. I would say a concern that I have with this is that he's relying on Tailwind to set up Clamp-Ball, and then Rage Powder for like optionally a Shell Smash. He's probably going to need both to get Clamp-Ball set up in a fast option, and then his only like speed control is then Trick Room on either Dusclops or Girafarig, both of which are questionable as like setters, because Duskull sucks and Girafarig also sucks, and they're both weak to Dark, so they kind of face the same issues. But beyond that, Frostlass is pretty good. It's one of the better Icy Wind users in the format, with 110 speed and then acceptable attack. It's also a fast taunt, and it's got like fast wisps as well. I'm pretty sure it gets screens. Yeah, like him on top, Intimidate and Fake Out Support is good, as well as offensive him on top is pretty strong. Parasect is a very nice Pokemon because it's got option to Spore, and with the removal of Safety Goggles, it means that only Grass-type Pokemon are immune to Rage Powder. And Keith, you still there?
No.
Okay, yeah. That said, given that some of the Pokemon that you're supporting with that Rage Powder are Rhyperior and Clampo, the fact that Grass-type Pokemon are immune to Rage Powder is maybe a concern.
A little bit.
Also, Tropius is also not a real mon. So I do feel like this team has like 3 not real mons, and then Murkrow, I think, was underpriced, but was probably still not necessarily the best round 1 pick.
It's very support orientated, and I think to make it work, you have to have a more offensive team, but I don't know if this has.
I mean, this team has Rhyperior, which is, you know, very strong, but it's quite slow. It's got Clamp-Ball, which is very strong, but quite slow. And it's got Frostlass, which is actually not that strong. And it's got Agron, which is kind of strong, but also very slow.
I mean, it's very strong, but...
So I feel like if this team had, like, the only Pokemon that really are going to be able to, like, have a positive matchup into opposing teams with even somewhat decent speed control really is going to be the Hitmontop. Like, unless they're getting the Hitmontop and the Rapidash, I meant to say. Because, like, Frostlass is already going to have a decent speed matchup, and then, like, if they're just Icy Winding with Frostlass, then Rhyperior is probably not going to be getting faster than both the opposing Pokemon. Clefable is probably not going to be getting faster than both the opposing Pokemon, and Agron's probably only getting faster than one of them, but one of them's probably fine. Yeah, that's just, like, I feel like that is a bit of an issue. Like, Clefable is insane if you can get it with a Shell Smash and Tailwind. But even in Trick Room, without that Shell Smash Power Boost, it's not going to be getting double KOs with Muddy Waters, most likely. Even though that is, it is still ridiculously strong. I mean, it's as strong as Mega Alakazam, but Mega Alakazam was never, like, a forefront mon in VGC. Probably because it is not really getting that double KO into both opposing slots. So I guess that's kind of my thoughts on it. But I think it's got a lot of solid options. It sucks that Rotom doesn't have Helping Hand, because their only Helping Hand bot is Hitmontop, which is probably going to have more useful moves to use in a turn.
It is hard to fit Helping Hand on Hitmontop in a lot of games.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So yeah, I do feel like this team kind of has somewhat redundant support. It's very long game focused. Really the only immediately powerful Pokemon are the Rotom, Rhyperior, Clefable, and then they all have issues. And then, like, Agron, if you're running offensive Agron sets, but Agron's not particularly reliable. But I can't really say this is a long game team, because it's not got great setup, even with the Rage Powder support. A lot of their setup mons are Pokemon which have poor matchups into grass. So I think that is somewhat questionable. But yeah, I would say certainly this is a team that has a lot of top heavy focus, even though I guess it's more like mid heavy. And then I guess it's more oriented towards tempo, because it's long game, it's not really there. So I guess that's probably about where I place it. It's slightly towards tempo, because it's got some of the long game. It's just that the long game struggles really to synergize very well together, and it's definitely more top heavy, because it doesn't have a lot of value out of its lower picks. But who knows? Like, Tropius could absolutely, prove me wrong.
Does Tropius have Tailwind? No, he doesn't. Oh.
Their only Tailwinder is,
Why does Game Freak hate this Pokemon? They went out of their way to make it bad.
I mean, they went out of their way to make it
bad.
Yeah. So now we have New York Ninetales and Samax. Samax.
Yeah.
Yeah. I swear they didn't get round 1 Tangrowth. Did they get round 1? They might have gotten round 1 Tangrowth. I do not remember.
You cannot be trusted already. Well,
this team has a theme, but I don't remember what the theme is. This isn't the blue team. There's another team that's blue.
Yeah, Donphan, famously known for being blue.
When I was looking at it, the first 3 Pokemon are blue.
Blue, yeah.
So I was like, is this a blue team? No, a different team's the blue team.
Yeah, maybe that's its theme. First 3 are blue, and then it breaks the theme. That's a great theme. I love it.
Yeah. Lopunny's also
Rage Powder is so much better without those.
Without goggles. And when your water type is neutral to grass.
Yeah.
All the other water types, it's not neutral to grass.
Really good.
This team's got pretty decent, like, fast end with Manectric, which is one of the better Snarl bots in the format. It's got Lopunny, who is a very solid fake out user.
What does Lopunny do?
It's got fake out, and it's got got Clutch Switcheroo. Well, those are pretty good.
Oh. So
it can bulk drop opposing Pokemon as well with Fake Tears or Tickle, which is pretty solid. Being able to stun opposing offense for Uxie as well is pretty nice, giving it turns. Same for Gyarados. And then Magnezone is probably going to be running Sturdy every game, because Analytic really sucks in VGC. But yeah, like, Magnezone is pretty strong as, like, an attacker, and it honestly does synergize pretty well with Manectric, because Manectric, as an electric type, only really has the fire coverage, but then Magnezone has Tri-Attack, which is a dumb move, and it does hit somewhat hard. And then Coughing is just like a nice tech piece. Like, this team is, I think, absolutely value out the max. Like, I think all of these Pokemon are solid to... Like, Walrein is probably the only one here that I would really question whether it's coming to a game. Because Coughing just has the ability to remove opposing Pokemon's abilities, which is super strong. So I certainly would say... so New York Ninetales is certainly sitting high up in the value end. I think this is the first team where we really don't see a dead slot, or even like a somewhat dead slot.
It's cute.
Yeah, like Walrein is like saying that Walrein is the bad Pokemon here, when Walrein is actually quite strong, like as an ice type and as a water type. Like its dual stab is really solid.
It doesn't have Icy Wind, which is shit, but it's got Belly Drum. Oh, Belly Drum.
Very few Pokemon
do
Ice Wind in this format.
Belly Drum,
Belly Drum, Rage Battle. I think I would probably use Sword Stance over Belly Drum because it really only needs the +2, but absolutely. It's got so many like options, and Volbeat support is pretty solid.
Yeah, and you know, Magnetism might pressure other steals. I'm not sure. Neutralizing gas. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it gets used for anything on this team.
Yeah,
it could be
it's
used
not
for shutting
to
down
buff your Pokemon,
yeah.
but it's like to shut down opposing Prankster, to shut down opposing Rain, stuff like that. Like, not only that, but also if you're switching Coughing in and out, you could cycle Intimidates with Gyarados without even having to switch Gyarados out.
Is that how that works? Are you sure?
Yeah. The ability is turned back on when the neutralizing gas Pokemon switches out, as if they were first down on the screen.
Shucks.
Dude, I remember someone had this like thing set up where they could get the Zacian to like +3 attack in one turn, just out of Intrepid Sword, and using like eject button.
That's
very funny. But yeah, yeah, and Donphan's super strong. Very solid Donphan. You know, I think Donphan's very solid. Uxie with the Levitate next to it. Coughing theoretically can also levitate next to it if they wanted to run like a more like Wisp taunt focused thing, or even just Haze. As well as Gyarados being ground immune is super solid, and like Donphan is Ice Shard really does dent a lot of the things where if opposing teams might find this team to be somewhat passive, because I do think some of these mons do struggle into specific like types. I believe in his week 1, which has already happened, he'd have to use Life Orb Gyarados just so that opposing teams were not setting up on him, even though that was also like one of his potential win conditions as a setup mon. So that is an issue that he can have, but having the speed control with the Donphan Ice Shard is super nice, as well as having the double fake out. Yeah, so I think this is a very solid team. I think this is very solid. I think this is absolutely a value. I think this team has really good long game, though like we were saying, it does somewhat struggle with the tempo. The tempo is really only offensive boosting item Gyarados, maybe offensive item boosting Hitmonchan, and then like Magnezone. A lot of the other stuff is kind of reliant on setup. And like Leaf Storm from Dangrowth is also pretty good. But yeah, this is certainly a team which is sitting more towards the long game and end of the spectrum rather than having that solid tempo option.
That makes sense.
But very good value, very good value.
Yeah, put it in the chaotic neutral. You know what? I'm gonna say chaotic good section.
I'm pretty sure this is the this is ANCAP, right? This is like
sure, chaotic good. Oh yeah, like I know what you mean, the political element thing, but it's just I'm calling it chaotic good because that's. I said I'd do alignments. I forgot to do them for all of them until this one, but we're back. I mean,
they're on the screen, right? We have true neutral, we have neutral, what's it, neutral lawful? We have lawful evil, I guess, and then we have chaotic evil.
It would be, yeah, so it would be up and down would be, like, top would be lawful, bottom would be chaotic, middle would be neutral. Then you'd have, probably good on the right, evil on the left.
Well, I was doing top and bottom with good and evil.
Oh, well...
Whatever. And then lawful over here and chaotic over here.
Arbitrarily decide which is good, if they're chaotic good or evil or not. But that's the alignments, everyone.
So this is neutral. This is the only character that's good so far. This is lawful evil, and this is lawful, chaotic evil.
Okay.
Tempo is good. Long game is evil. How dare you not try to win turn 1? Okay,
I like
so
that.
this team is just the epitome of top heavy. It's the GTK, which is Figure out. Oh, Grandma's Togekiss. Yeah, so this is the most top-heavy team.
Garchomp, what the hell?
Togekiss, Gengar, Garchomp. Machamp. Melodic. Ditto. And then Moltres and Butterfree. Moltres sucks in this format. Like, really bad. It doesn't have Air Slash, it doesn't have Hurricane.
The bottom 3!
It doesn't have Drill Peck. It doesn't have Rebirth. Oh no, I think it might have Air Slash. But like, it just sucks. Yeah, and Poochyena, Bidoof, and Magikarp, of which, Poochyena doesn't even get Intimidate like Mightyena does. So, Bidoof does get like the simple bullshit, as well as the moody bullshit, so you could theoretically do something with that. I would not be surprised if they like clinched playoffs and then like in their week 6 or 7 game brought like some Mimi Bidoof set. But yeah, this is definitely the epitome of top-heavy teams. Togekiss, Gengar, Garchomp are amazing in combination. Melodic is phenomenal with this team, and Machamp is really strong.
I hadn't looked at the team and be like, this is the epitome of like top-heavy. I'm like, oh, this will be interesting. And then I looked at the top ones. I'm like, this is looking pretty strong. And the bottom 3 is very funny.
Yeah. And Butterfree is literally just here for Rage Powder, but they already have Togekiss, and Togekiss loses to much that, well, Butterfree doesn't beat any of the types that Togekiss loses to, because Togekiss gets hit super effective by Rock, Ice, Electric, Poison, and Steel. Butterfree does not resist any of those, so really all it's there for is like Tinted Lens, Sleep Powder, which is, you know, it's not terrible. I think it's 97% accurate with Tinted Lens.
I mean,
it's okay. Maybe you could go down to next
sometimes you only run
just
offensive Togekiss, like you're up against someone with a particularly bad fairy matchup, so you just go, you know what, I'll have Sash Butterfree as my redirector.
Yeah. Set up the nasty plot on Togekiss. I mean, look, it's an option. I still would be worried about them clicking Rock Slide. Or Discharge. But yeah, certainly Togekiss itself is strong. The fact that neither of them gets access to Tailwind kind of sucks. This team. Oh no, Butterfree does. Butterfree does get Tailwind. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm just wrong. String Shot's also nice, but obviously Tailwind is better. Yeah, I don't know. I think this team is just very, very strong. It's very it's got very good tempo, and then somewhat of a long game. Like I don't think it really has a long game. Like Melodica does go a long game, but Machamp is just tempo. Garchomp, it can Swords Dance, but it's really just tempo. Gengar, it can Nasty Block, but it's really just tempo. Like they just hit. And even Togekiss itself, with like the Cricket set, is just tempo. So I think this is very much just a team that is like, you know, this is a team which is going full lawful good, apparently.
Oh no, well here's the thing though, but in my mind this is definitely a chaotic evil team.
No, this is a lawful good team.
Like
they even bring children along. That's how lawful they are. They're not even
child
being
slaves.
No.
Child slaves is what you're saying.
What do you think law is for?
This is lawful evil. This
is definitely lawful good. No, it's not chaotic at all. Child slavery is legal now. It was a part of not making people have to pay like reasonable wages to employees during COVID. So instead, we'll have child slavery. No, they're taking kids along. They're it's like bring your kid to work day. They're chaotic good. Big fan of them. Yeah. So then we have the next one here, which is the Houston Haluchas and Tay.
You didn't highlight the checklist of abilities for this one.
I didn't do that ever. Jace made this. Jace made this.
Well,
I tried to make it, but I was unable to figure out how to take the original LDL doc, which is for 10 mon, and make it 11 mon.
Okay.
So I just used Jace's version.
Well,
but I had to make a new copy because he deleted in his video the Poochyena, Magikarp, and thing to talk about the type matchups of the team. Personally, I'm more focused on offensive type matchup, though defensive type matchup can be relevant. Offensive type matchup is even more important because you can't exploit someone's bad defensive type matchup if your offensive type matchup is crap.
Oh look, it's a Hail team. There is 4 weather teams.
There are people with Sandstream users as well, but there's no Hail support.
Yeah, I don't
they don't even have a Pokemon with Weathermore.
No, they don't, which is a bit weird, but...
They have Overcoat on Wormadam. Like, that's their Hail synergy. No, it's for soundproof, so that they can use Uproar on Arcanine, clearly. I don't even know if Arcanine gets Uproar in this format.
Of course.
Yeah, so Arcanine, very solid round 1. One of the best fires in the format. I would say second, maybe to Heatran. I think it's marginally better than... Infernape. Marginally better... a good bit better for the similar price than Entei. absolutely phenomenal. It can spam Snarl, it can be offensive. Like, it's got that immediate power both on the physical and special side. Then you've got Abomasnow, who does have that immediate power, though it really does not have a long game potential. It's got the 4x weakness to fire, it's weak to fighting, it's weak to rock, it's weak to, like, this team has a particularly awful rock slide matchup. Like, it's really just Nidoqueen and Hitmonlee. Nidoqueen being somewhat bulky, but Hitmonlee is very physically frail.
And even their neutral besides like Slowking and Spiritomb aren't even very bulky at all, so it's like...
Well, Slowking's not physically bulky, and then Spiritomb is okay bulk, but it's definitely not amazing. But that said, they do have the best rock slider, which is Aero, and it's also a good Tailwind user, because it's fast.
Yeah, so...
their redirection is Clefairy, which kind of similar to what we were talking about with like the Luxray switch thing with Clefable. Clefairy can actually do that because it has Friend Guard, so you can like switch out your Intimidate Pokemon into the Friend Guard Pokemon so that you can like DD with Aero or something, and that will actually do something. So that's good.
Yeah.
That something is probably going to be Belly Drumming with Lanoon, by the way. Like, I don't know, I feel like there are two sets you can run with Lanoon in this format, which is Belly Drum, E-Speed, and like Bandit E-Speed, because it's not really going to do much else. But the fact that there are not very many good steals, this team doesn't have a steal, by the way. Also, its fairy is Clefairy. That's its only Dragon Jack, which is kind of bad. They don't have any Dragon weaknesses, but like they're not going to be taking Dracos very well. This is a team you can click Outrage against. Like, I don't know, that is certainly a concern. Pikachu and Hitmonlee, pretty good fake out pair. Hitmonlee doesn't have normal gem though, so it's really not got items to abuse on Burden. So maybe like Citrus or Lum or something. So it's really just going to be, but that's it. Like if you have like Banded Reckless High Jump Kick, it's just going to get KO'd.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I don't know. This team's okay, I'm gonna say. I'd say it's more defensive, but it's weird because it's not even that incredible defensively. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, so like...
It does have Pikachu though, which is the strongest Pokemon of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
Just so that...
Pikachu's Life Ball options are super strong. It's got multiple... this team's got multiple decent Focus Sash users, none of which are really reliant on Focus Sash, which is pretty cool.
I don't know what to think about this.
It's got decent Trick Room, and then its Trick Room abuse is mid, but it's not terrible by any means. Like Abomasnow
offensively is very good,
but it is a bit fast for Trick Room. So like some teams will have Pokemon which unspeed it, like that. Even that Agron on that previous team, which we were criticizing for not being slow enough. Like even putting aside the Rhyperior, the Agron is also slower than Abomasnow.
Yeah.
And then like what?
They in Tailwind also you can get a Abomasnow and Tailwind will be pretty fast, pretty strong. Because I think that's probably what.
Yeah, so yeah, they can tail with Aerodactyl and then like spam Blizzard. That Abomasnow thing does kind of make running Sash on Aerodactyl more questionable if that's your plan. And Aerodactyl is otherwise a pretty good Sash user. But yeah.
It's just kind of like that. The fact that they've got a bunch of Sash users and then.
Well, we say a bunch. They have really like. One of the Pokemon I would say on this team are good Sash users. Abomasnow is probably a decent Sash user. Aerodactyl is a good Sash user. Wormadam presumably would be a good Sash user if it's just out of String Shot. And then like Hitmonlee is a good Sash user just because it doesn't really have another item. And Clefairy because it doesn't have VBL-S. I think Sash is probably the item you're most likely to get off with Unburden. Yeah. So yeah, that's I don't know. This team all of its Pokemon are decent. Like Wormadam is probably not going to do that much, but it does have. It is a Steel. Sorry, it is a Dragon Resist. It is a Dragon Resist. It's also an Electric immunity because it's a Ground type. But they have Nidoqueen. Like this team's. I don't know. This team's very strong. I think this team's got very good value. My brain is forgetting this team's name. It's the Houston Holuchas. And then like, does this team have tempo? Yes. Does this team have a long game? Yes. I think this is a very balanced team. I think this team's got a lot of heavy hitters. It's got decent speed. It's got speed control in terms of both Trick Room and Priority, as well as a decent Tailwind setup. And his team definitely sits in value, and then it's more towards the middle because I think it's very
yeah. So it's
probably like this. I'd say it's probably a bit more towards the long game.
Yeah.
Just because it does have that Clefairy option, which is super solid, and then the 2 really good fake out users, as well as good style. But it's only more towards the middle. Very balanced, very strong team. Big fan of it. So now we get to the next team, which is CMS under James Dalton Bell. One of the other people YouTubing their stuff here. I hope everyone does wind up ultimately YouTubing their stuff, but no pressure. Just
no,
pressure.
If they don't bully them. Hey, this man stole your Feraligatr.
He did. He took it round 4, so I was going to take it like round 5, so that's on me.
Heatran's pretty. Oh, Heatran's cool.
I'm pretty sure.
Cool.
No, he took it. No, he took it the round. I was going to take Feraligatr, and then I wound up taking a different Pokemon, and you'll have to see what I wound up picking in the video in the description.
That you've already uploaded.
Yeah.
So if you're a true fan, you've already seen it.
You should rewatch it if you're an electric fan.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll rewatch it.
Okay, so CMS is.
I like this team. I think this is a very good tailor.
I don't know which of these teams is CMS. Oh, the Cincy Minchies. It's the Cincy Minchies. I'm not very smart.
Really good. Crobat, as we've said, is the best tailwind setup, probably in the format.
Yeah, definitely the best.
I really love this team. I really love this team in tailwind.
I guess Murkrow is also a good tailwind setup, but you can fake it out and kill it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the issue, I think, with both Aerodactyl and Murkrow, is that they are fast, but they can be faked out, which is a concern. Yeah. And then Suicune, Crobat is very unlikely to get taunted, so Suicune seems to me to be the best.
Yeah, it was just Crobat. It's really strong. I love this team. Defensively, it's a very offensive team, I think. And,
yeah, Bruno kind of plays Crobat setting Tailwind. Heatran's very strong, Ambipom's very solid. Like, Castform is a meme pick, but like Carnivine has redirection. The Wigglytuff is the only fairy that we didn't mention when we were listing all the fairies, because it's bad. It's worse than Clefairy for sure.
Still look like competitive and stuff like that if you've got like an Intimidate spam.
Competitive is pretty solid when you've got like Feraligatr, Ambipom, Medicham, all of which are kind of Intimidate bait, as well as Sharpedo if you're running a physical variant. Haunter is really solid, lower tier Pixmon. Jolteon, that late, is very strong. Like, their immediate speed is super good, and then they also have very good tailwind. It means they're really going to keep
they've also got like a lot of taunt, so that they can stop like Trick Room or something.
And
not
like just that, but the strong fake out options with Medicham and Ambipom. They're really, like, this is really, really balanced
team. It's my favorite teams over holy shit.
Oh, okay.
I'm not including yours, obviously.
Okay, good. Because that would be that would make me cry. Yeah, so this team definitely. This team definitely goes towards value, but it doesn't go. It's definitely not as valuable because it does has Castform as that dead slot, and then it's got really good really good long game. I think it's really like it's got the tempo option in Medicham, but Heatran is like a mon that excels in the long game. Crobat is a really solid mon for supporting the long game. Ambipom is not that strong to be saying that I would say it has amazing tempo, though it absolutely can exert tempo. Feraligatr, phenomenal long game mod. If it gets turned so
and Heatran can do tempo stuff too as well.
They can, but I think that they excel better in it. So I'm like, well, how would I analyze this team? Yeah, so Medicham is really only good in the short game. Like, if you get a bulk up with it, it's probably still going to be killing a lot of the mons. Like, a lot of the Pokemon that it's not getting the Oko into, you can generally change that by slapping a Life Orb or a Choice Band on it, and then, like the bulk up, it's just somewhat frail, so it does struggle to really get that bulk up off, even though it does have that Carnivine redirection there. But yeah, no, I think this team's got certainly a balance of both, but I think that really, Haunter and Medicham stand out as really only immediate tempo options that don't really go more towards the long game. The Jolteon, of course, can, Sharpedo can, Heatran can, Crobat can, Ambipom can, Feraligatr can, but a lot of these options are more better for a long game play, I feel. So that's why I'll probably put this more towards the long game aspect, but it's definitely more towards the center. Very balanced, and I think it's got very solid value. I'll probably put it even more towards the value, because it's only got one dead slot. That's incredible. Yeah. So now we move to the Phoenix Suns, I think, and Poppin.
Sure.
As someone who's been to Phoenix, I can confirm it has some.
This team has an Entei.
Yeah.
Entei is strong.
Entei is strong. It's got Sacred Fire. It's pretty good. It's got Gastrodon. I think Gastrodon with Entei and like I think this team's top 3 is really solid. And then Jump Off is a bit weird with Rotom.
I think Gastrodon's good with one Pokemon on this team.
What do you mean? They have a bunch of Pokemon that threaten grass types.
Yeah, okay, I guess it's like
check grass.
But this team's not really bad into waters. I don't know.
No, it's not bad into waters, but Gastrodon's a win con.
Yeah. How? Explain.
You click stockpile, and then they can't kill you anymore, and then you win. Generally, after a stockpile or 2, the only thing that's killing Gastrodon is Freeze Dry or Grass moves, and I think that's like 2 mons with Freeze Dry, and one of them is Glalie. And I don't think Frostlass gets it. Like, alright,
Okay.
I've got this open. Let's open up the BDSP metagames. / deck search, Freeze Dry, all. So Mamoswine, Glalie, Lapras, Glaceon, Delibird, and Articuno. I'm pretty sure that Mamoswine and Lapras are the only Pokemon that are drafted that have access to Freeze Dry. Because Smeagol's banned. So, yeah, you're really only getting threatened by grass moves, and a lot of these other Pokemon are not weak to grass. In fact, they do not have another Pokemon that's weak to grass. They do have somewhat of a redundancy with the Hypno and Tremecco, both of them just kind of serving as like bulky Trick Room setters. Ursaring's a pretty good Trick Room user. Swallow is okay. It really does not have great coverage, but I do like it. I've used Gulpin well in Little Cup before, so I'm biased.
You're a hater, is what you're saying.
On what?
You're a hater.
Well, I just said I liked it. What?
Shut up.
There's Umbreon, which I think is less valuable in a non-Dynamax format, because I think it's an amazing anti-Dynamax piece, but it is still very solid. There's a reason that it's on the logo, which is to say it did very well last season. I believe it actually won. Jigglypuff's not a good Pokemon. I don't know, this feels like it has a lot of, like, mons that are kind of redundant in terms of value, but that just feels like kind of like a top-heavy sort of comp, even though it does have this sort of value picks, because it's kind of like, you want to be bringing the Entei, you want to bring the Gastrodon, you want to be bringing, I think quite often the Empoleon as well, and then you're like, oh, am I going to bring one or both of my grasses, which, like, you know, is the Umbreon, which of my psychics am I going to bring? Like, it feels like you very much kind of have like a team plan very much set out in mind, and then it's just like, which are going to be like the 4th, 5th, 6th on that sort of thing, which is more of a top-heavy aspect of a team. Like, I think that there are going to be very few weeks where you're not seeing Entei and Gastrodon coming.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
I would say it's a more top-heavy sort of team.
Yeah.
And then, does it have tempo?
Empoleon's
I mean,
gonna have
Entei is
burst
tempo,
now.
Rotom is tempo. Ursaring is, I mean, Ursaring's Guts is definitely like a long game sort of thing, not to mention the Trick Room thing. This is definitely a very long game focused team. Because even
especially with
Rotom, which is
Roost
tempo,
Empoleon now. Roost Empoleon.
that's only in Arceus, not in this format.
I thought they were releasing it for BDSP as well.
It's not got Roost in BDSP.
Okay, I thought it was in
and then,
whatever.
yeah, so I would say more long game. It's definitely less top heavy than the New York Aquajets.
I mean, nothing's gonna be that top heavy. You know,
No, that's Grandma's Togekisses you're thinking of.
Oh yeah, nothing is ever beating that team on top of this. Is, you know, this is I aspire to be as top heavy as that one.
Let's say it's got like a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, like if I compare it to Samax's team, like if I'm comparing Samax's team, no, this is not. Sorry, not Samax's team, Bardo's team, which is this super top heavy thing of where it also just has a bunch of mons that fill kind of similar roles and you just pick between them. They're very, very similar. Yeah, they're very similar in terms of their level of like top heaviness. Which is more, I guess, that. Alright, now we get to its team.
What the fuck am I looking? Why is this wet? Why isn't Illumise the first choice? Genuinely.
Because this is a theme team. The theme is they didn't want to spend a lot of points on Pokemon, except for Cresselia, which is 22 points.
What am I looking at?
It's... Yeah, so Porygon Z's is pretty good.
Really good, yeah, Porygon Z's good.
Typhlosion's alright, Camerupt alright.
Does Typhlosion have Eruption?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, I guess.
Camerupt also has Eruption.
Oh, well, that's neat.
Cresselia is a good Trick Room setter.
Yeah.
Camerupt's
So
good in
get
Trick Room.
follow me.
It's the only Pokemon that's good in Trick Room on this team, because Bastion is bad, and Blossom is not really... Blossom's traits do not shine in Trick Room. Blossom's traits are, it has Quiver Dance.
Yeah.
So that's kind of got anti-synergy with Trick Room. It's got Swords Dance, who knows? Maybe the Strength Sap set will pull something off.
I don't.
It's got Thunder Wave for speed control as well as obviously the Tailwind on Luminion, which was their round 4 pick, Luminion. It's got Storm Drain for their, I guess, two major water weaknesses, like
3. Bastion.
Three.
Bastion.
It's still not a real Pokemon.
Porygon
Probably
Z is
somewhat
gonna
fast.
Be pretty good. Like that's what I'm gonna say. Porygon Z is insane.
Yeah, Porygon Z is very strong.
Insane in this format. It's like the steals are worse.
I mean, this team is definitely
plentiful.
value for. It's not top at all, so it's not top heavy. Just got a lot of crap mons. And then Typhlosion and Camerupt, which are the same things, but one of them's in Tailwind and the other one's in Trick Room.
Yeah, exactly. It's, and it's,
And they have a much better Trick Room. Like their only top is the one mon. I already forgot what the team was.
well, obviously this is being dropped as
Philadelphia
a
Ash
meme.
Lupus.
I appreciate it, but it's completely gone
It's
over
like-
my head, and I'm lost in a maze of confusion.
Like, what is their setup options? Like, you can Calm Mind with Cresselia. That's pretty decent long game. But everything else is just immediately hitting, right? Like,
Nasty Plot with Porygon Z,
Right,
I
but-
suppose.
you can also just immediately... Like, I would
Quiver
say Porygon
Dance
Z
with
is more of a
Blossom, as
tempo
you
mon
said.
than a Nasty Plot mon.
Quiver
And then
Dance with
Blossom's
Blossom, as you said.
how good of a mon. I would certainly say that this team is very focused on tempo, though I would just question how good the tempo is. So I would probably put it... I don't want to put it in value, because I don't think I get a lot of... look, a lot of that comes down to how well he plays, and it's... You know... I mean, it's, right?
Yeah, okay.
There's a reason that Jace decided to refer to them as that.
Look,
I think that might say
am
more about Jace
intimidated.
than it does about it.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm very intimidated.
Yep. Alright, so now we have the something Colossals with Casey.
The Kukachu Colossals.
I am pretty sure it's not the Cupidru Colossals.
The the
Honestly, it might be
Cowabunga
Cowabunga Colossals. It might be.
I mean Cowabunga is the Cucamonga Colossal.
Alright, so Rain Team. Rain Team has
with
Rain.
Weavile. Weavile's pretty cool.
It's got Weavile. Weavile's an amazing round one. Rapidash is pretty decent first price as a fire type. It's got access to Fire Blast and Flare Blitz, both of which are just high base power moves, and it's got a decent speed too. So it's not bad by any means. Muck is like the much better version of Swallow, because it's got insane coverage for some reason.
Because it's Gen 1 Pokemon.
Satu's pretty decent as well. This team's just good.
Yeah, I like it. That makes
Lucario's got
sense.
Follow Me. It's really good Follow Me user.
What does Shuckle do? Explain.
Helping Hands.
No, yeah, and also it's got friggin' God Split.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
I'm pretty sure I would just use Helping Hand with it. I think it's also got Struggle. Yeah, it's also got Struggle Bug.
Okay.
Which is, not terrible. It's got Knockoff as well. Like, it's got decent support moves. And he can heal Pulse it with his Lucario. Shell Smash Contrary
yeah,
Shuckle
also
is
has
going to be the
Follow
win
Me.
condition. It's one of the relatively
Oh my
few
god,
Pokemon with
Rapidash
Toxic.
has Ally Switch?
Yeah,
That's so weird.
it learns it by level up.
Well, Ally Switch is broken. So that's nice.
Look, yeah, it's definitely broken. It's not good, but it's broken.
Yeah, I like this team. It's just strong.
Yeah, it's strong. Like, it's got insane tempo with Weavile Kingdra. Lucario gives it like so much long game, both in Lucario and the other ones. Stantler is like really cool because it can skill swap Intimidate so that you are cycling Intimidates, which is super solid. It can like Shuckle is like a dumb support Pokemon. It's probably not going to come that much, but like it is annoying to consider in prep. That said, in rain, it's not going to be taking water moves very well. Rapidash's got Ally Switch, and it's got high base power moves, so outside of rain, it's going to be pretty annoying, though I don't believe it has access to Wild Charge, but it's only really got Mega Horn and high horsepower in terms of its standing coverage, but they're okay. Muck is just kind of strong and kind of very Spadeffy. Rhydon is pretty good. This team doesn't love sitting next to Earthquake at all, so I do think that is a concern. Like, it's really just Satu. But Rock Slide Spam is strong. Rhydon's just strong. Zatu's good. And Metapod's got, like, Struggle Bug, so it must be broken. Sorry, String Shot, so it must be broken.
I think that's the best way of putting it.
What's the team called again? Oh yeah, the Colossal one. Californian Colossals.
Yeah, the Kawamunga kids.
So, where would I put it? Towards the thing. Well, its value's pretty crap. It's pretty top heavy. Like, look at Shuckle, Rapidash, Statler, Metapod, Zatu. I think are all kind of mediocre mons. But they can do stuff. They're definitely not like great.
I don't think Zatu's that mediocre.
Yeah, I don't think
Tailwind
it
and
has...
Trick Room and Ally Switch and T-Wave.
I mean, they've also got Trick Room on Statler.
Yeah, but I think I don't respect Statler.
Right. I don't respect Zatu that much more than I respect Statler. Like,
Respect-
what is this team abusing Trick Room with? Muck and Rhydon, I guess? Like, I guess the Rhydon Zatu combo is alright.
Yeah, it's also got like Feather Dance, Screens.
You're literally
Haze,
just
it's got
reading the
shit.
thing.
Yeah, I am.
It's got Calm-Mind, U-Turn, Haze, Roost.
It's got this move called Ally Switch. No, but Magic Bounce is just nice.
I put it pretty
I don't
top
know.
heavy, and it's got very good tempo and very good long game. It's certainly very balanced in terms of the tempo long game edge, but I don't think it's got amazing value. I think it's got a lot of mons that can kind of be tech pieces, but not really a lot of games that are all like genuinely threatening to teams that don't have great matchups as the types sort of thing. Like it doesn't have like a Rotom where every team that doesn't have like a good electric check is going to be worried about that Rotom. Like teams without a good psychic check are probably not going to be that worried about Zatu because they can probably out-offense it, sort of thing. Like Zatu's not strong enough that you can really slap a scarf on it and think that it will be reliably getting damage in, unfortunately. So I think that's just kind of like the issue with a lot of their lower picks, is that they're either offensive or they're supportive and they don't really do the mix at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have Buoyancy. My brain remains completely cursed every time I read Buoyant.
Ooh. Well, there's Latias, which is pretty
And
okay.
the Undella Unknowns. Yeah, Latias is really solid.
Yeah, the underused.
UU Pokemon. I don't think it's a new year.
No, as in his theme is UU underused.
I get the joke.
abbreviations.
Yeah, Unknown, famous for being a new year.
Yeah. Oh god, look at this team.
Yeah, so he sniped my ferret. Hate him. He sniped my Blastoise, which was my backup to Feraligatr. Hate him.
Member Swine's
He
good.
took Houndoom, which I considered once and dismissed, but you know what?
No, Houndoom's strong.
Him.
Like,
Yeah, Houndoom is
don't-
good. I just didn't want
Houndoom.
it on the team that I had.
Stoice is
Because I
pretty.
wanted the fire that resisted Fairy.
Stoice still has Shell Smash, right? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stoice
well, he's
would
got
be ass
Pirate
without
and
Shell
Shell
Smash.
Smash.
Stoice has got support and it's got Shell Smash. Yawn is like the Yawn fake out sets are alright, but I think it still has Life Dew in this format.
I'm not sure.
It is listed, yeah. It's listed under healing.
Yeah, but you could be lying.
Yeah, this seems like a really solid long game. Like, so many of these mons are bulky. They do have, like, immediate threat, but that immediate threat is just really, really long term as well. And with one of the, like, a follow me option is pretty good. I don't think Electrode's great. The fact that it's lost Reflect is really crap.
It also doesn't have Electro Web explicitly.
It's never had Electro Whip, but yeah.
We had
It's lost
didn't
Reflect.
we have that drama before with you?
No idea what you're talking about. Primeape is
I'm
probably
fairly
not
sure.
great. It doesn't have access
Got
to
a
Line
feeling.
which kind of sucks. But Torterra does. Torterra's also not good. Like, its typings, it's just weak so much, and what just...
Cross ground ain't great.
It's like, hey, I lose to Flying type, but what if I lost to it harder? And then their checks to Flying type, oh, that was fine, which is okay, but it's flying on Ice Shot to check them.
And losing the water resist is
Of
not
course, it's pretty
worth
bad, yeah. So this team's water resist Latias. Like, Latias is pretty good. What's this team water ice matchup? It's pretty bad, right? It's really just Blastoise.
Yeah.
And then like this team's only breaking steals with Mamoswine, which doesn't have a single target ground move besides Earth Power. And Houndoom? Houndoom is pretty decent, but it is, I think,
I think
a bit
Torterra
prone to, like,
is
protecting. Well, Torterra also doesn't have a single target move.
Yeah, and then there's Primate.
Yeah, I guess it's Primate.
Primate
like,
is Defiant.
okay. I don't know, the team's okay. This team's definitely top heavy as hell. Like, none of the Pokemon after Furret really matter. So there's just like a team of 6, and then like maybe they'll slot another mon on some weeks.
So make it.
This team is more top heavy, but less good at being top heavy than Grandma's Togekiss is. And then, like, is this team tempo or is it long game? No, this team's got very, very good long game.
Yeah, it's just good long game. Screw it.
Like, Mamoswine's got tempo, but everything else is just absolutely phenomenal long game. And now we have...
the worst team of all time that I've ever seen drafted in my life. Dear God, I hate it.
I didn't really particularly hate the something or other Wormadams that much.
No, I'm talking about the intelligent Leons.
We're not talking about that team, though.
Yeah, good, because it's awful. Oh, horrendous.
And if you want to know just how awful it is, it was insulted at great length by Mr. Sheath Gelman in the video, which you should watch. If you're a fan, you've already watched it and should watch it again, and if you're not a fan, you should watch it anyways.
Yeah, and then comment and like and subscribe, and then send it to your local member of parliament. So they can watch it and like and subscribe.
And also escalate it to the Prime Minister.
Yeah. So we've got a second rain team.
Yep, here's the round 1 rain team with Pelipper, and they also has the Wheezing Slacking combination, which is pretty solid. We do note that the Coughing team does not have the richest.
Why is Pelipper the round? I guess it's got Tailwind.
Well, if between Pelipper and Politoed, I do actually think Pelipper is better in this format.
Okay, why?
Because it has Tailwind. Nah, because Wide Guard's pretty frequent.
Okay. Right.
They've got Steelix for Wide Guard. Sorry, because Pelipper has Wide Guard, which is really good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just to be very specific, Pelipper has Wide Guard, and that is a good move, especially when, like, often you're kind of worried about, like, Discharge or Rock Slide with these sorts of teams, and then it stops that. It also stops Struggle Bug.
Oh, they've got the Wheezing Slacking combo.
I did say that already, yeah. It is the Wheezing Slacking team. But a lot of their other Pokemon are relying on abilities, so that's a bit confusing.
I mean,
like, even
yes
Steelix
no.
for Sturdy. But, like, Pelipper, Drizzle, I guess you can have the Coughing in after, but Raichu loves its Lightning Rod. Ludicolo loves its Swift Swim or Rain Dash or Own Tempo.
Yeah.
Like,
but the
all
thing
of
with
these
Truant,
abilities
can I just check? Do you have any idea how that works with neutralizing gas? Like, if you clicked an attack, does the Truant then activate for the next turn?
Okay,
or,
so
like,
this is the way the Truant works, in my understanding. Is you have to have actually clicked and fulfill the move in the previous turn. So I'm pretty sure, like, even if you just wake up, even if you, like, slept in the previous turn, Truant doesn't activate. You have to have actually clicked a move in the previous turn while Truant was active. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Okay.
But the thing about Truant, the thing about
so that means if, like, you switch out
Regigigas,
Wheezing, will it always still be able to get an attack off, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, in the turn you switch out Coughing, I'm pretty sure it will. I'm not entirely
Wheezing, yeah,
sure,
okay,
but
so
I'm
then
pretty sure. Oh yeah, Wheezing, yeah, sorry, this team.
Yeah, because then you'll be able to, like, they have, like, their electric type out, you switch in thingy in attacks, and you can switch in the Wheezing back in immediately, and then get it to attack. Like, you can probably do some dancing around that.
And apparently they did mention that Life Orb, Sheer Force, Bagon, Dragon Rush does Oko Garchomp, so, you know. Oh no, I don't think that was even Life Orb. I think it was just Sheer Force. So that's what Bagon's bringing to the table, and Snubble's bringing to it, which is pretty good. They have Cradily for Storm Drain, as well as they have Jinx for another water immunity. Like, this team is not getting
and obviously Raichu for
messed up by water types at all.
No, yeah.
This is a pretty solid team. I think all of its Pokemon, like, are real Pokemon. Porygon 2 loses EVO Light, but it's still very solid.
Yeah, it's still a...
So, like, Bagon, I think, is the really only Mon on this team, which is not, like, a real Mon.
Despite your lies earlier, then.
It's not a lie. That's a single game, and I'm pretty sure they aren't even in the... I'm pretty sure they don't even have the Garchomp team in their schedule.
Oh, okay.
So that would put this team... I think we were saying it was... I think we were saying it was pretty valiant.
Okay, no. Bagon is
Tempo
in Trick Room. Bagon is as threatening with a Life Orb as Nidoqueen because they both have 75 on their offensive stat.
Right, but you know what the main difference is, right?
No, and I refuse to hear it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sheath Geldon.
Yeah, look, I know. We all know Nidoqueen has a much better move pool and doesn't need to be
And
instructed,
stabs!
and is a lot bulkier and has stabs, okay? I just wanted to laugh at that point.
That's it. I do think
Come
Steelix
here.
in Trick Room is a pretty decent special.
Yeah, it's
Life
got
Orbs.
Sheer Force. Like, Sheer Force Life Orb's actually kind of strong.
On a special. Because its physical attacks do not have any moves for it. But its special
Doesn't it have,
attacks
like,
do, and its physical
Crunch?
attack sucks anyway. It's got Crunch, but it's got
Iron
Earthquake
Tail?
and Jarrow Ball. Oh yeah. Let me just use
An
Iron
Iron
Tail.
Head, possibly?
No, it doesn't have Iron Head.
Oh,
It does have Flash Cannon, Earth Power, Flamethrower, Dark Pulse. It's got Thunderbolt, I think, it might as well. It's got like a ridiculous
Yeah.
special move pool.
I guess its special's not that much lower than its. I think
Yeah,
it's
like
a
55
lot
is
lower.
usable with
Yeah. All the buffing.
and they have Tail.
Right.
You
Right.
can just run like the max speed.
Yeah.
Max speed
Okay.
sturdy with sheer force life form. Oh yeah, I was deciding whether this was tempo or not. I mean, this team's got an incredible tempo. It does have long game as well, so I'm gonna leave it more towards
Yeah.
it. But I am edging it
So,
towards tempo because it's got Pelipple to collar.
I think it's neutral, but it's got a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, it's definitely more towards the center. But yeah. So now we have KD by Tom's on.
Yeah, KD is the kilogram of.
Oh, this is the American team,
Dongos.
Crocodile Dundee, based on American film, Crocodile Dundee.
Oh yeah. You call that enough? You want an Australian film? Watch the Steve Irwin movie.
No, you want an Australian film? Watch The Castle. You have seen The Castle, right? Surely.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's just like the vibe of the thing, man.
it's just
Oh,
the
The
vibe. It's
Castle,
Marvel.
right?
It's the vibe. You know, tell him he's
Like-
reading. I tell him
Seriously,
he's
Steve
reading.
Irwin. Respect it.
Yeah. Steve Owen is great for you know, I really aspire to follow Steve Owen's model as a parent.
I've got a funny story about that. I probably shouldn't tell it, but I've got a funny story about that.
Oh yeah, Registeel doesn't have Clear Body, which makes it worse in a format where it's already bad. Pachirisu's pretty decent redirector. Azumarill's got Belly Drum, so it's one of the best Pokemon to redirect for. It's an
Yeah,
offensive
and
fairy. Somehow we forgot Azumarill when we were listing fairies.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty good.
Well,
Flygon's pretty good as well. Zapdos sucks. I don't know why they took it round 3. Zapdos has no moves. Do you know its coverage is to hit ground types and
Drill Peck.
No. That's not coverage, it's an H. It's
Oh,
U-turn.
okay.
U-turn's its coverage.
That's man.
It's got ancient power as well. That'll do so well.
But
into
that doesn't hit ground types.
No, it hits Thunderous, which isn't in the format. But there's a famous Sheath Geldon called Regieleki video called Regieleki actually gets the coverage. Yeah,
It does actually
Draco's
get
pretty
the
good.
coverage for it.
Kadabra's quite solid. I don't know. I feel like this team has a lot of like crap mons, and it's just kind of like, what the what more am I bringing? Because like Azumarill,
Yeah.
Pachirisu, and Flygon are the only good mons on this team. And then Dracon's alright, Kadabra's alright, Flareon is mediocre, Zapdos is mediocre, Sceptile's mediocre, Shedinja is like super mediocre, especially when this team is relying on Registeel. Like Registeel's mediocre. Eevee also sucks. Like this team is top heavy because it's got 3 mons. They're not.
Yeah, this is very weird. A very weird team.
It's top heavy and then like long game as hell because you want a Dragon Dance with Flygon so it does anything. You want a Swords Dance with Drapion so it does anything. You want the Guts boost with Flareon so it does anything, and you do appreciate the Belly Drum with Azumarill, though it does have the immediate power as well. And Kadabra's not super reliant on Calm Mind because you can use that on Life Orb. So
Yeah,
I
and
guess
yeah, Life
I would
Orb,
say
it's got-
it's more towards a long game. It's pretty top heavy. It's just bad.
Yeah. The Steve. Oh,
Now we
good
have
job,
the
Steve
theme
Irwin.
team of Mono Blue. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that Jordan's team was also a theme team of Fuchsia, which is to say red and purple, because, and also we use shinies. But
Which team?
the second team that we covered.
Oh.
The one that's like in the middle of this.
Oh yeah, you know what? For that team being that good with that thing, that's even I like it a little more now.
But it's also like, ah yes, shiny Infernape. This is Moto Blue. You can tell because Quilava has some blue in it. It does not rely on shinies, which means it's morally superior. Also, I'm pretty sure Cranidos went the same round as Rampados. And if not, it went like not that long.
Rampados and Typhlosion being stopped from you when you're trying to do a blue team is sad. Although they should have gone for Camerupt over Quilava, I'd argue.
Camerupt is not blue at all.
It's got the blue rings.
Okay, but Quilava's got blue on like its entire back.
Yeah, but so?
When you are using Quilava, you're seeing it from the back, and it's all blue.
You're still seeing the rings of blue on Camerupt, I'd argue.
I think that...
I'd argue it has as much blue as freaking Rotom does.
Well, Rotom's also, like, surrounded by blue, but yeah, people were pretty critical of the blue on the Rotom. Also, Quilava's like a random low-tier monster.
Anyway, Salamence is pretty good, as it turns out.
Yeah, Salamence is good. Dragon type.
Bronzong
They have
Snorlax is pretty
redirection.
good. Yeah.
They have
Snorlax
a good fake out user.
redirection.
They have Song. This team's very top-heavy.
Yeah,
Cranidos is one of the better offensive ones, which I think should tell you how top-heavy this team is. Azelf is super strong, though. Azelf is so strong. Salamence is so strong. Snorlax is really good with the redirection, though I question Rage Powder's effectiveness. But after a belly drum, Snorlax just obliterates teams. And even without that, it can.
What grass types are really affecting Snorlax?
Breloom.
Yeah, I guess. It's not like Breloom, you know, loves the red
But
going
also,
into this team.
Grass types have Spore.
Yeah, but grass types hate this team. That's all I'll say. Like they are pressured
like
by a lot of
Salamence
this team.
with its no flying moves.
Salamence to
Salamence with no flying moves.
Yeah,
So
but okay.
Toxic
they don't do
who is
anything.
bad, and then it's Quilava, who's not
Hey,
a
he's
real
off his
Pokemon.
flamethrower.
Like the only Pokemon that can hit it with Stab, super effective, Toxicroak and Quilava.
I don't know. I just don't think grasses do that much.
I think grasses
here,
are
'cause-
alright into the team. They're pretty, like, Rotomosh is also one of the setup mons that's pretty good next to. This team's Trick Room's very strong. This team's very top heavy. Like, Azelf is very strong. I think Bronzong's kind of weak on this team, but like, when it has Trick Room ups, Lax is very strong. This team lacks a Tailwinder, which is, I think, somewhat questionable. Because, like, Zoomlax is pretty good into a lot of, like, bulkier teams. Which this team might struggle to break.
Yeah, like just getting a random
like-
cheap blue tail window would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they, like, specifically like Fampi and Quilava, and that's why they picked them up, but I don't know. I mean, like, Quilava's at least got the 80 speed, which means that it probably can come to a game and do something, because as I've stated before, Fire Blast and Flameless. And, yeah, I don't know. Kavana's probably alright. Doesn't it have decent offensive stats?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's got 90 attack. Pretty
That's surprising. That's like a Krabby has 20 attack or something, right? No, 105 attack. It's got more. It's got as much attack as Feraligatr. That's my
and
favorite
both have
fun
sheer
fact.
force.
Yeah, it's literally as offensively powerful as Feraligatr. I think its liquidations do the same damage.
If you ignore Scald, yes.
I said its liquidations do the same damage.
It's liquidations do the same damage. I think that Krabby does not get Waterfall, and Feraligatr does, and neither of them get liquidation this format. I think. So this team is top heavy as hell, and
Yeah,
pretty tempo-y, right?
yeah, I'd say that.
Like, it's
and,
got
you know, just
setup options, but it's kind of more tempo-focused, I feel.
and you know what? Looking at it makes me feel blue. Dubba dee dubba die.
Yeah, he has a
dubba dee,
19-minute drop
dubba
breakdown,
die,
which is
dubba
literally
dee.
just that on repeat.
That's fantastic.
Sure.
That's
now
it's
here is
got to be fantastic.
The one,
'cause it's
the only,
joke.
Jason Pollock.
Ooh. This is the greatest team I've ever seen of all time. I'm sure he'd very much appreciate me talking about how amazing this team is, because it's just the best.
So,
I've
Breakout
never seen a
Gramble,
better team in my
pretty good.
life. Wow, everyone should
Let's just
run in
like
fear of this team.
the only bad team,
Thanks, James.
the only
I know
bad
you
mob this
wanted
team
me
has
to
is
talk
Yonda.
this up.
And Yanma does have, as he was arguing, like speed boost string shot for speed control, so it's okay. Pretty sure Yanma's like pretty weak, right?
No, it doesn't have tinted lens. Dear God.
No, it doesn't. It's got frisk, which is pretty
It's
good.
got
Oh, it's got
75
combat.
attack.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
Yanma's pretty bad
yes.
offensively, but it does have that speed boost string shot thing, I guess, and it's not like he's super rock slide weak. This is a Sun team. Victory Bell's pretty good in Sun. Driftbloom's pretty solid. Zangoose was like 4 points, insanely good for that price. It hits very hard. Charizard's really strong. Raikou is an amazing Pokemon in terms of like fast screen, fast snarl. It can calm Might up crazy. I've seen the sort of calcs you can get out of bulky Vs into Raikou. Like I've seen it take like life orb close combats from Blaziken. So like you Jaces definitely can use these Pokemon well. He's got the Intimidate support from Gramble as well. Swampet's really solid.
Yeah, I actually like this team.
I really do. I think it's very good. Kecleon's like a funny meme. Riolu's got Follow Me, as well as it's got Follow Me Prankster, which means that you have to be faster than Riolu to fake it out. So like Sableye can't stop it from Follow Me.
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah,
and also,
and
you can run,
that, like,
and if it is faster, you just
can't
run
fake
inner
it
focus
farther.
anyway. Like, don't you just run inner focus anyway?
No, so sorry. The idea with that is that you make it so they can't fake out your partner.
Oh, yep,
Yeah.
gotcha. I was thinking, like... Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
And I mean, everyone wants +6 priority helping hand, right? I'm pretty sure that's faster than Dynamax.
I don't know, and I don't think it's... I mean...
It's not relevant in this format at all, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure +6 is the priority that like Dynamaxing happens at. So having helping hand at that priority is just very funny. It's very
being
funny
able
to
to
see
help
moves
an
go off.
attack at that priority would mean you could kill something before it Dynamaxes.
I think it's just very funny to see support moves go off before Dynamax.
This is just a good team.
It's a good team. It's got like really solid long game. It's got decent immediate power, but its long game is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Belly Drum. Any Charizard set is super strong and so. Charizard
If you can
is so
get
strong.
the Trick Room up, Torkoal is so good.
So yeah, I would say this team's got really good value, which is funny because it's also pretty top heavy. And its tempo is good, but I would say it's definitely more towards the long game, which is crazy with tempo this strong. So it's probably down about here. So here's my alignment chart, and just
Here's the alignment chart. Here's your
Screen
chaotic goods, chaotic evil, lawful goods, lawful evil.
no one has the
neutral,
balanced
street,
long game team. No.
Nah, tragic. Oh well. Yeah, I do like someone is totally true neutral. We did get that. That's nice.
I mean, he's a bit off. Yeah, it's pretty good. I just thought that maybe doing more qualitative analysis of these teams would be more interesting, since
Yeah.
they're like basically everyone is doing the.
Power rankings. Yeah, no, I think
Well,
this
they're
is
doing
a
a tier
unique
list.
selling point. This is a unique selling point. This is,
I think it's interesting too.
ESP, yeah.
If you hated it, please leave a like and a comment to let me know.
Yeah.
If you liked it, please leave a comment and subscribe
Super like.
and watch my other
Retweet, reblog, favorite,
video.
validate our existence. Give us,
And also,
send us feet pics.
and if you really disliked it, make sure that you go over to Keith's like community page and send him a message about how you're still waiting for the Can Chalk Do It video.
it's coming. I need to start getting to work on that, but don't reveal what it is. It will
you
be.
guys you guys need to tell him that we want chalk. We want chalk. Yeah, so
Good
thank you
for the
guys all for watching. This has been my I'm really excited to play in the VBL-S.
It looks fun.
And super excited to just like lose really hard because I'm super scared of a lot of these teams.
Don't worry, you'll ruin
Like I said,
everything.
if you want to look at my team, I do like break it down on my page. So in another video, and I'll also leave a link to Keith in the thing below. Thank you guys all for watching.
Bye.